Spooky tea, anyone?
It's me again. My week has been a long one, and I've only had about 5 hours sleep. Now, let me fill you in with what happened after I met the Sphinx. I woke up the next morning trying to understand the whole Sphinx experience, so I started with the burn mark on my palm. It turns out, it's a sort of ownership sign that basically means Max has accepted me as an owner. So I guess I'm bound to him now. I hope that's a good thing. Everywhere I go, he follows me around like a shadow. A slightly scary demonic shadow, but kinda cute. I've also found out why the Sphinx tried to eat me. Apparently, she asked me a riddle in the bar, and in my drunken haze, I didn't even attempt an answer. And those who don't answer a Sphinx's riddle get eaten. Hence why she was so eager to get out of there with me. After some research, I found out that Sphinxes have a community. There are around 50 of them per community, and they're really vengeful creatures. I talked with the only thing that could help, Max. He told me that he already got it covered, so I could relax a bit. Not gonna argue with a hellhound, so I'm just gonna relax then. Later that night, I got a new co-worker for the night shift. His name was Morris, and he was built like a tank. I'm talking 300 pounds of pure muscle. The guy was huge, he towered over me. I gave him the list, not wanting to make the same mistake I did with my first co-worker, and he said in a raspy voice,
"Oh, you found my list? Nice to see some people listen then."
I was dumbfounded. You are the guy that left me the list?
I am the one that saved your life.
We shook hands and he said in a surprised tone,
"I see that you've got on Brow's good side."
The room boomed with Max's voice. Yes, indeed. How have you been, Morris? Morris responded in a tired voice.
"I assisted in a Sasquatch birth and killed a Wahila. How about you, Brow?"
Just helping this dumbass survive. He's annoyed the Sphinx community. Morris looked like a ghost, and I realized that whatever had made this tank of a man so scared was shortly coming for me. They must have seen me getting dizzy because Morris said,
"We need to start prepping. Now."
Morris took a bag from his bunk and opened it. It was full of guns. I'm talking pistols, knives, an MP5, about 50 mags of ammo. He said that the guns and mags were loaded with silver and bronze bullets, and they were filled with a mixture of holy water, white ash, and enough ricin to kill a fucking whale. He gave me the MP5, 2 pistols, and a knife that he said was blessed by a priest, and enough ammo for a small army. I felt pretty badass for a moment, until I remembered some evil creatures were about to come and rip my head off. After gearing up, Morris gave me a little bottle of clear liquid and told me to drink it. The liquid tasted awful and burned the whole way down. He said that it was some sort of poison that would kill a Sphinx, but it wouldn't harm me. After he said that, we started to hear water splashing and then bangs coming from the lower parts of the ship. Morris told me to get ready because the Sphinxes had arrived. What followed next was an all-out war. The creatures jumped up on deck and started to screech before suddenly going very quiet. A scarred and old-looking one stepped in front of the group and spoke. "Give us the one that didn't respond to the riddle, and we shall leave. If you don't, we shall eat you all." Morris replied in his raspy voice,
"Munch on this, you old hag."
Just before shooting the thing right in the face. The creature dropped dead and started to melt in some kind of acid. I froze as Morris shot at the other creatures. But after a few shots, I regained my senses and started to shoot. Max jumped from the shadows and bit the head off of one of the creatures, He was different now. He was bigger. His eyes were blood red and he was on fire. Flames of pure radiating rage. The creatures fell one by one, but in my state, I didn't see the one that crept up behind me. It lunged at me, biting my leg. It then recoiled in pain and started to melt into a strange pool of acid. That liquid that Morris gave me did the job. My leg healed very fast due to the ownership mark. In about 45 minutes, all of the creatures were dead, and the ship looked like Swiss cheese. In our fight or flight state, we didn't realize that the purple container had appeared. And when I looked at it, I saw 2 yellow eyes. The eyes locked with mine, and I could feel it gazing into my soul. I heard Max howl, and then I heard his voice in my head. He is here. I knew who he was. It was Oliver, and he wanted me dead. I felt dread as the air around me changed. It got heavier, colder, and had a smell of rotting eggs. I could feel every molecule of Oliver was oozing with evil. He spoke in a terrible voice that made my ears start to bleed. I could feel his anger. I'd taken his dog, and the only way he would get Max back now was to kill me. A sphinx leaped at Oliver from the shadows, but it disintegrated as soon as it touched his skin. The demon just stood there smiling. I raised my gun and took a shot at him, but he disappeared along with the container. I know he's watching me now. I see his yellow eyes in the water, around every corner. I know I don't have long before I slip up, and I know he's counting on it. Take care. I think I'll see you soon.
Spooky tea, anyone?